what's up, guys? This is Luna Pearl, and I am here with Andrea-Rachel Parker.
Hi.
And this is All Hip Hop. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
You're Luna Pearl.
Yes.
Okay, because I saw the page and I was like, who is this? This is weird.
That's me.
Okay, I didn't know.
So, yes, I'm new to the All Hip Hop interviewing scene, but thank you for, being one of the first.
Congrats on fulfilling your dreams and doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel pretty good.
I told her I like her shirt, so I'm gonna steal it. If anyone sees it on the gram after
right.
today on me,
Fresh
just
from
be
Ghana.
quiet.
That's right. So yes, welcome again. So I'm just gonna jump right into it because
Sure, yes.
Wu-Tang up in the. Listen, I am from Staten Island, so
Are you?
yes,
Ooh.
born and raised.
It just got hotter.
Just
Just got hotter.
but
We're talking about being in the hot seat, so that's why.
listen, no, you're in the hot seat right now because I need to know what was that experience like on Wu-Tang Hulu series.
I mean, it's honestly exhilarating just because walking in, you had a lot of energy from everyone. Just even looking at the background stuff, you had Wu-Tang insignia everywhere. Right. So it was just like, wow, I'm really gonna be a part of this story. That's a big deal for me. I was really excited when I actually got casted. So I can't wait to see it. You get a little worried because you're like, how is everyone going to like embrace this? You get worried because I know that the men and the young boys, they have a lot of shoes to fill. And seeing the trailer, I was just like, what? So now I'm like super pumped. So yeah.
I'm very excited to see it myself. Like I said, Staten Island, so anything Wu-Tang, it's like, gotta rep. Definitely gotta represent.
And then, like, you just learn a lot more about the culture of Staten Island, just being a part of the show and seeing the people. And it was just like, wow, like this is a big deal, not just for New York City, but for Staten Island too.
Absolutely. So did you guys film out in Staten Island, or was it mainly?
We did. I don't have as strenuous of a schedule because I'm not one of the recurring guys, but for the time that I was out there, a lot of it was spent in Staten Island. I don't know how they split it up between the rest of the group. I don't know if they did some in Brooklyn as well, but I know a lot of it was in Staten Island, if not all. I know I probably had maybe 1 or 2 shoot days and fittings in the city, so that was, plus, but yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. So were you like a huge Wu-Tang fan prior to landing the role? Are you like hip-hop head? Like
I like hip-hop. I like 90s music. I love R&B. I can say that Wu-Tang Clan is one of the main groups that stood out for me in the 90s, and Tribe Called Quest and a whole bunch of others. But I will say, I don't want to, because what ends up happening is I go, yeah, I'm a big Wu-Tang fan. And everybody's like, all right, so, boom, trivia time.
Pressure's on. Yeah, no, you don't want that pressure. You don't want that pressure.
Because then I get in trouble when, like, I mess it up. But at the end of the day, like, I know that you play a Wu-Tang song, I'm turning it up. Like, that's just what it is. It doesn't matter.
You got to.
Yeah.
It's Wu-Tang. You got to turn it up. You have to. So, like, what was it like preparing for the role? I got to say the name. Mama Ganja.
Mama Ganja. And I don't smoke.
What?
So everyone was like, you don't smoke and you playing Mama Ganja? Like, are you serious? Not to say I haven't smoked before, because I have, but I'm not a smoker. Like, I'm not gonna just like, if everyone runs off to go smoke, I'm not gonna be a part of that cipher. I'm not that person. If ever I did decide to do that, it would be like in an edible form. I'm that person, or I might I've been learning about the oil, so I might do something like that. Like, I'm that person. I'm not the smoke bothers me, but yeah, with the role Mama Ganja, I actually went into audition 3 or 4 times for a different role in the same series. And I was like, oh, this would be really cool because it's a regular role. And so I really wanted a regular role. I wanted to be a part of this story. So I'm like, okay, like, let's just do it. But as I was reading through the material, Mama Ganja stuck out to me, just not necessarily her personality all the way, but more so just how they described like her look. She was more curvaceous. She was brown, and I was just like, this sounds like me. There was a part where she kind of got snappy with someone, and I was like, oh, I would say that. So maybe this is me. And I didn't say anything, and I went on and did all the auditions. I got callbacks, and I did a read for it and stuff. And then ultimately I didn't get it, or I didn't hear back from them for that role.
Okay.
And so I was like, dang it. But I kind of knew, but I was still bummed because I wanted to be a part of the story and I wanted to do regulars. And I know in a story like this, there aren't going to be too many women who are there at the forefront of the story,
Right.
because it's about, you know, the group of men and young boys. So I was like, damn, like I really want to be a part of this. Like, why they hit me back? And then eventually they hit me back, but they hit me back for Mama Ganja. And I was like, I knew it. I knew this one was the role. Like, this is the role. Like, I'm supposed to be this person. And so it just kind of like flowed from there. And I went back to do one more reading for her, and then I got it off of that one reading. But my first day on set, they were like, look, she's fly, she's one of the boys, she's down to earth. And I'm like, I could do this. She's chill, okay. Like, she's about her business, she hustles, but at the same time, she's very like, I can be a part of you guys and not be the person who sticks out. I can like blend in. And so it's like, all right, cool.
Okay. So I know the story is mainly fictional, but do you know if your character was based off of anybody like real in the Wu-Tang story?
Yeah, she's real.
Okay. Oh, okay.
She's a real person.
Okay.
The name is real. The name has been mentioned in a previous book about Wu-Tang, and so you can learn easily that, you know, she works at a concession stand, and that's how she makes acquaintance with some of them. But she's not just this one character. She's not just this one human in person. The way it was described to me is that she's a representation of a few of the women that were in their lives. So she's been a best friend to some. She's been, you know, the cool like fashion person to another. She's been the girlfriend to someone else, because she's a representation of more than one woman. She's a combination of them. And the real person that I am playing, that they got the name from and who she's supposed to be, she's fly.
Okay.
So, and she's been holding it down for the teams, so from what I know. So it was just like an honor, like, oh, okay, this is cool, the information about her and, you know, her journey and her relationship with people. It's like, oh, I respect this.
Absolutely. Because I know when I was doing research, I'm like, I'm looking for Mama Ganja.
Oh, she's hard. Like, yeah, she's hard to find.
I'm like, yo, if this person is real, they're like, she underground, because I can't find them. But that's cool.
I wouldn't say she's hard to find. You just have to know where to look.
Where to look, exactly.
And then also it's more so about just being private. Right. Like, nothing's necessarily hidden. It's just more about making sure you contain the information that's out there. Because she posts regularly. Her family's on like the internet and stuff. It's just about knowing and where to go.
Gotcha. You know, I'm sure being on the Hulu Wu-Tang series, like that, I would imagine that opens up like other doors, like for like other
I've been
Hulu
getting some
series.
really cool auditions, but honestly, since I did HBO's The Deuce, the auditions have been like all the time, like
that's great.
Either self-tapes or, you know, walks in, and then I'm getting callbacks and I'm being put on hold, or I'm getting offered and then they're like, oh, and then something happens or whatever. But I'm kind of like blessed in that regard. It's just about being right for it, you know what I mean? Doing Hulu now, I think it's opening a different type of door. So I noticed in the industry that there are always typecasting. So if you do someone who's sassy and heavier, and someone who is in the porn industry in some way, or working in the parlor, which is about the Deuce, then you get those kind of roles. Right. And then when you do Power and you're crying like, oh my God, don't kill me, then you get those roles. And now you always got to be like, don't kill me. And now when you do Hulu, and no one has seen it yet, so there's a lot of like, well, we haven't seen it, what's gonna happen, what did she do, what's her role? Which is why this time my team really wanted to push for an announcement, just to let people know I would be a part of it. Right. But already a lot of sassier characters coming in, comedic. I've seen a lot more comedic roles, a lot of roles where even if the character is quiet and shy, the clothing might just be a little bit louder and bigger and more, you know, grandiose. And so you just start to see those patterns. I want to get into action though.
Okay,
That's
I want to see that.
Because I can kick ass.
Well, you know, speaking of that,
I want to put it to use.
we're talking about RZA, who's a big kung fu
Yes.
fan. So, might be able to get in.
RZA!
RZA, what's up?
I don't know. I really just don't think he's going that route right now. I think he's telling the story of Wu-Tang, and that's important. And I want, I don't want to be like, hey, RZA, can you create something just for me? Hey, RZA, can you create something?
But it wouldn't be just it's for the culture.
No, you're right.
It's for the culture.
You're right. But no, I don't know. I've just always been into action. I've been into sci-fi. I've been into, like Stranger Things and Independence Day. And, I'm just that person. I liked even like Machete, like something like that. Like,
yes.
I like Fast and Furious. I like cars. I like planes. I want to jump out of shit, jump over shit. Like, that's who I am. I'm very active in that sense when it comes to acting. I also started out in dance, so even though I don't dance as much anymore, I just want to get back into movement and choreo and, training. And yeah, that's the goal. So hopefully in the near future I can bank on something like that. But whatever Hulu brings, I'm open to it because I also just want to tell stories.
Okay.
I'm happy it's on Hulu. I always wanted to do something on Netflix and Hulu, so I'm very happy that I got a Hulu gig. A lot of people have asked me too, just saying like, oh, are you upset that it's not on the big screen or that it's not on the small screen, because it's a digital platform, and I'm actually really excited about that. Like, it's something that I've always wanted to do because I feel like people need to have things, at their fingertips now. That's very important. And, YouTube, it just wasn't getting the credit for, breaking out the stories and the series, and, now you get to be on a bigger platform.
That's awesome. And I see, like, from your prior roles, you've done, like, HBO series, you've done the STARZ series. So, like, you have some big networks behind you, like, in terms of the roles that you play.
I would hope so. That's not really how it works.
No?
But I do feel encouraged by them. Like, I know that since working on HBO, I've gotten more HBO auditions. That's something that's really huge for me. I actually got an audition for a show that I really, really wanted to audition for. Just, like, I knew I wouldn't probably be casted, but I keep saying whatever, but it was like, oh wow, they see me enough to say let's bring her in. And those type of things, they count, they matter. As an artist, as a creative, as someone who loves storytelling and wants to jump in, like, sometimes you just need people to say, like, we want to see you, we want to see what you can do, what you're willing to do, how you do it. And you might not be right for the role, but you're good enough to, to be considered and to be seen. And so, in that regard, it was good. And then I haven't necessarily, have I? Yeah, I actually got a few, I think 2 more STARZ auditions since being on Power. And then there were other 50 Cent projects that have, been in development that I was also up for. And so, work begets work.
Right.
And that's really the main reason of promoting too. Like, you just want to be able to say, hey, look, I'm working because I'm kind of sort of good, they say. So how about you go check it out so that you can, make up your mind and then give me more work, Exactly. So, yeah.
So speaking of your roles on Power and the Deuce, like, have you had any, like, crazy interactions with fans, like, that have seen your roles and said, well, I identify so much with this character, they come to you and they're like acting all crazy, nothing like that?
No, they don't say that. They don't say I identify with the character. They say you got Rena killed, or you effing Tariq in real life, or how old are you, or girl, you like they talk they shit.
Talking about you actually killed, like, you killed the
Well, I mean, I know that they don't think that, and honestly, it gets slow. Like, it doesn't always happen. I'm not 50 Cent, so it's not like when I walk out in the middle of the street, I have a swarm of people. I think the first season that I was on the show, when it first came out, from like maybe the ending of August, there was a build up. By the time September hit, my September was crazy, my October was crazy, then Deuce came out, and then, like, that whole season was crazy. It was something I didn't plan for and I didn't expect. So I honestly was like, whoa, is this how it's going to be? And, then there's off and on moments. So then sometimes if something relevant happens and then I'm out in the street, that energy will find me. Other than that, it's not like, I'm not Kerry Washington. So I mean, it's not 24/7. But I did have something cool, actually. I did an audition recently, and someone, while I was in the car, recognized me coming back from the audition. And they kind of just like, I had the music playing in the car, and I'm rapping to it, but I'm rapping like nobody watching me, girl. I'm like, oh, and I'm acting a fool, a whole ass. And
I put on
then
whole performances, so don't feel bad.
But I really do. I think I'm Beyonce on the stage. Give me a camera and a mic. I'm going full out. I'm gonna have a wardrobe change, a hair flip in it. I drop it. Look, I do a lot. So I was acting up in the car, or I was getting into it. Like I was about to.
Okay.
And then he just like pulled up and he's like, I saw your video on the gram. I'd rather hear you rap. And then he said something like, nah, but keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. I know who you are. And then he got super motivational. He's like, don't let this world get you down. Like, you got it. Like, he went off.
Okay.
And I'm just like, he know me? What's going on? How he know my life? What's happening right now? And I'm thinking of it like, this is weird. But, you know, we have to drive, so we kind of split up. And then at some point, he ends up back alongside of me, but he's kind of driving this way. So as he's driving, he's like, yo, you got Shazam? And I'm like, no, I don't have Shazam. And then he's like, yo, take this song down. He gives me this like Caribbean song or whatever. And then he's like, I need you to listen to it. I'm like, this your song? Like, are you trying to push your record? He's like, nah, it's mad motivational. It's mad Look, and I'm Puerto Rican, so you already know. And I'm like, okay, Bobby. And then anyway, he was just really funny.
Okay.
And it had been a while since something like that happened in a big way where I just felt someone's energy. Yeah. Like, I don't know who sent him. I don't know why. I'm like, Lord, what you... But it didn't matter because it was just so funny. At first, you know, the Brooklyn in me, I'm like...
Like who? Yeah, for real.
Like, yo,
who
B. Like, but then afterwards, it's just like, oh, he's really sincere and he's, you know, he's being himself, and he had like some nice stuff to say. So I was just like, oh, this is cool. So things like that happen like very randomly. I'll go out to eat, or D will be there, and someone might say hi. So like stuff like that, but it gets funny. It's fun. Nothing too dramatic.
That's good. I mean, having experiences like that sounds cool because I like to laugh. So anytime. It just comes out like that. It's just
more so about like saying, wow, like someone's seen something I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you grew up in an environment where you didn't have people encouraging that specific thing in you. As you get older and you just decide to do things on your own without having that approval or that acceptance or that push, it's kind of like, oh, I can do it. Someone will see it and they will really respond to it. They might like it. So it's like, oh, okay, this is good. Sometimes it's just the extra energy that you need, you know? So yeah.
Okay. So are there any particular characters that or roles that you really, I know you mentioned you want to do action, but outside of that, is there any other like realms that you feel you want to tackle?
When Kerry Washington wants to do her biopic, Mary J. Blige, Call Your Girl.
Okay.
I don't know. Did Queen do something about her? No, she hasn't. So you need to call me too, girl. There's a lot. It's a lot of those that I want to do, but yeah, like I said, I'm into telling stories. So anything where I get to not be myself, and I really just get to be in a whole different world. Like even if I have like 4 lines, if I get there and I'm like, oh, this is different. And it takes me out of my own headspace, then I just want to be a part of it. Like I'm in that stage of my life right now where I just want to be telling important stories, you know?
Okay.
Important stories, not necessarily about real people, but about real things, about real issues.
Absolutely, because there's a lot going on. Me and Chick were just having a conversation. World. There's a lot going on right now to talk about. So yes. But speaking of stories, because I was looking, you know, had to do a little research, so I was on your IG and I. No, but you know, because I want to be prepared. I gotta be prepared. So I happened to see your mood posts, and I was like, okay, is this a possible hint at a stint in music? Is that?
I love music. Music keeps me alive. It keeps me focused. It keeps me going. If someone put me on an island I didn't have music, I would create music. I would be dancing. I was the kid where everyone said shut up all the time. All I do is walk around dancing and singing and fake rapping, and that's what I do. So it's not that I'm trying to become an artist in the musical realm alone. I'm not trying to be an independent artist at all. It's more so that I'm just somebody who is in a space where I'm creating when I want to, how I want to, without any type of control. And seeing how it feels and just kind of learning myself through it. And then also like letting people know, like, you know, like there's more to me than just acting. I can rap. I can really rap. I can really sing. I can paint. I love to paint, you know, but then I'm also very secluded. So leave me alone and mind your business. That's just what it is.
I feel you.
But yeah, so, and I think sometimes people think you're one-dimensional. You just are this way all the time, and it's not the case. I feel like I have many layers to me. So when I put Mood out there, I went through so many different phases, because Mood was done in the end of 2017. It was written in 2016. It was actually talked about in 2017 of getting it done, and then it was done in 2018, and it wasn't released in 2019. So Mood wasn't supposed to be a single. It wasn't actually supposed to be out. We were actually going to, at the time, release other songs and do an EP, and then kind of use those singles as a way to push an EP, and then Mood was just going to be on it. Mood was actually an intro to the EP that we were thinking about doing. But then things happen. People get busy. The producers, I should say the engineers that did Mood, actually got really busy. They had family situations. They had to move. They kept going back and forth. And then long story short, they got really big, and they started to work. And so it just didn't pan out with like my schedule and stuff. And eventually they were like, look, we're going to give the beat away to someone else if you don't do da-da-da. And I'm like, for what? Like, it's my song. And we had to like talk about all of that, but it made me say, no, put it out there. Like, it's something that I did that I'm proud of. It's not the best mix of it, but it's something I'm proud of.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know I can even sing, and a lot of people don't know what type of music I like, so let's just put it out there. And then I was gonna push it, and I was just gonna be like, F it, do it like a single. But then I was just like, well, I'm not an independent artist, but if I was gonna push the single for real, I gotta have money. And the money that I have, I just didn't want to put behind this song. It's like, if you put out a single, you have to be prepared to put out another single, and then another single, and then an EP. And it was just like, I can put out Mood, but then what happens after that?
Right.
You know? So I didn't want to do that. And I went back and forth with that for a while. And I still sometimes just say, shit, just do it. Like, just promote it. But then it was just like, I like the fact that it's something that people can go onto my page, click it, and they're like, oh, she did this. Oh, this doesn't sound bad. Okay, I can't wait to see something else. That's also something that I like, because then it starts really good conversations with people, and they're like, oh, this was interesting. How you feeling today? Like, a lot of people say stuff like that to me. They'll be like, oh, what mood you in today? And I'll be like, don't try me.
The face.
Don't try me.
Don't try her. Please don't.
Right. But other than that, yeah, that's where Mood came from. Mood is not going to be done again. The next time I drop something, I think I'm going to be ready to, like, push it.
So, like, salt and pepper style push it?
Salt and pepper's here, and we... Okay, no.
No, we... But, no, I mean, because you said you're creative, you like, you know, just doing fun, creative things. Like, I didn't know about the music. That's why I said, okay.
Yeah, she's always trying. Avery's always, shout out to Avery, but Avery's always trying to get me to, like, rap more, sing more, and be out there more. The thing is, I just feel like I get energy that, like, I'm not necessarily prepared for when I do stuff like that. I support my own, so I just want to make sure that I don't need anything from anyone. And when you do things too soon, you end up being in spaces where you need things from people, or you'd rather get them from people, and I just don't want to be in that space. I want to be able to say, like, thank you, but no thank you. Say my name.
Thanks, bye.
Right. So I just rather, like, wait. I feel like there's nothing wrong with waiting. In the same respect, I told her, like, all right, I'll rap more, I'll sing more, just so people know that I can do it. So I did, like, the Megatron challenge. I did something else, like, but then I learned about myself when I rap. I get angry. I'm ready to guns blaze. All right? Look, now I'm ready to fight. What you said?
Ooh, so you gonna be a gangster rapper. You gonna be
not even that I can be. It's just like it brings out my other sides that I don't want to necessarily live in or stay in or sit in. I don't want to create in that. Right? Like, I don't want people to, like, I'm trying to be an actress. They judge you a lot. Like, even if you post, like, my bathing suit picture, like, then I get more, like, oh, you have to be nude auditions. Like, I'm just like, you're trying me, you see? Or if I post something and I'm looking like a little kid, then I get a lot of, like, super young roles where they want to see if I can play, like, 14. I cannot. I can't.
I mean, but
I mean, I can, but you have to think about the mental state of 14 is so difficult when you're nowhere close to 14 anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have a different persona, a way of walking, a way of talking, the way of even looking at life in that moment. And it's just like, I look it, I can do it, but it would be so much to sustain for a long period of time. And I want to play young roles. I still want to play like 16, 17, but the way I was thinking at 14, that's still junior high school for some people, or that's like the freshman year of high school for some people. Like, can we at least put me in sophomore year of high school? Can we at least do junior year of high school? Because, you know, so I just started to realize that the things that I posted on my Instagram or my Twitter, it actually caused an effect on how people saw me in the acting world. If I looked smaller because of an angle, then I had like a lot more like action or movement roles where I'd be running or walking along. It was just like I noticed these little different things. And so going back into the music category in space, it's just like when I'm rapping, a lot of people go, oh, she's a thug. Oh, she's a Brooklyn girl, for real.
I gotta see this.
Oh, what she had done in her past. And, you know, like, now they're giving me things, and I just don't want people to base my acting off of just what they see on social media alone. So then I take these long sabbaticals, and then people are like, oh, well, you can't do that because you have to grow a following. And it's just like this whole, like, balancing act that you have to end up play with. And that's why I'm just like, look, you go and book me. Stop playing.
Just book her.
But no, it's a part of the process, and that's what makes it. And I just had this conversation with someone else. Like, it's a life cycle because you find yourself like recreating, redoing, and everyone goes through it. Right. It's not just you. I'm pretty sure Avery goes through this too. Like, if she's working with one person who tends to be in the hip hop space, it's harder for her to book a corporate person or a corporate product or brand. You know, like, it's just little things like that you have to find the nuances of, so that people can see and believe that you are more than one thing, that you do have a past, that you have done certain things, but maybe you've outgrown them, or maybe you're trying to outgrow them, or maybe you've expanded beyond them at this point. And maybe you do show skin, but maybe you also can put on a suit and look fly as hell. Maybe, you know, you do know how to shoot, but maybe you also know how to do a layup. Like, you know, there are so many different, like, maybe you're not a tomboy or tomcat anymore, but you used to be, so you know how to go back in, and there's a shift, you know, like, maybe you like spoken word and poetry, and people only see you as that, but really you also like, you know, American literature.
I mean, that's a good mix right there.
so I don't know, like, it's just a thing. And when I think about music, I have to put that into consideration too, because when I decided to pursue acting, I said I wasn't going to venture out too much until I landed my series regular. I wasn't going to venture out too much until I got my action role. And so sometimes you just want to make sure that you finish where you start, and you want to make sure that you're holding true to your own goals and your own things that you've set for yourself. Always go with the flow, but also don't stray too far from what you initially wanted. And so if my priority is acting, no matter how much I love music right now, since it's not paying a bill at all, not one solid bill, then I have to take that into consideration and say acting is now at the forefront. Right. It's something I pursued. It's working out, and it's, you know, tedious, and it's not always ideal, but at the same time it has movement, it has progress, so I can't fuck it up. Sorry guys, but yeah.
Oh, we curse here, that's okay.
I don't know how to cite word.
Just fuck it up. No. Yeah. But
I can be a potty mouth.
I read one of your quotables where you said that you love acting because you get to be everyone and no one at the same time. And you know, I know with acting it's like how do you go into these roles, especially the dark ones, and maintain that sense of self? Like, what are your methods of? I
haven't gone into any dark roles yet.
But you know, just a role that, you know, takes you out of yourself, or not really like how you are as a person.
Well, I feel like in the first season of The Deuce, I didn't necessarily have to go to a dark place, but I did decide to make certain commitments so that I could feel like I was living more so in that world. Certain things, you know, were talked about and discussed. Like I would talk with other actors and actresses and see what they were doing, you know, what they were reading, who they've been talking to. I know, well, it doesn't matter, but yeah, like certain books were given out and, you know, not imposed, but exposed to the cast, like, hey, this might be good reading material. And so like I went above and beyond to do the same thing. And then, you know, I've watched, like, I think this was just even for the audition itself, I think I stayed up until like 6 a.m. one time just watching like every little thing on Netflix that could be about pornography in any way.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, I digested it all. I was just like, is this about pornography? Boom. Is this about the 70s? Boom. And I was just literally taking it all, and I was writing down notes and stuff. I didn't go to certain organizations, but I spoke to people who I knew were doing certain things who were also part of certain organizations. And that was just a way to kind of mentally prepare what this is like. You know, and through that, I learned a lot of stuff. Like, prostitute is not okay. Hoe, whore, slut, like, all of these words are shameful. Like, it's sex worker. And a lot of people don't accept that and they don't respect that, but you can't tell someone in the industry, you know, how to feel about what it is that they do, right, and how to be addressed. And so I learned that, and yeah, like that was part of my preparation for that show. And then little things too, like I didn't shave my legs, I didn't shave other aspects of myself because it was the 70s, you know, like it was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Natural,
right?
Yeah.
And I found that it's really freeing. It's so freeing. Just not even just the legs, just in general. It's just like, in a sense, you feel like a grown woman. Like, look, we going or we not. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Am I saying too much? I have guys here, and I feel like they're like, But anyway, the point of what I'm saying is, I made those decisions, or then just, you know, maintaining my weight. You know, one of the directors said she's from the South, she's thick, she juicy. So, you know, at that point it was just like, okay. And then I think something went wrong with my nails not being the same for continuity purposes, and they were like, look, the nails stay the same, the weight, everything stays the same. And I was like, got it. Okay. I won't F this up no more, thank you. So it was just like, it's not about being in a dark role. It was just about, you know, preparing for that world, because it's a whole different world. It's in the 70s. It's in New York. It's, you know, she's from the South, so you have to kind of mesh the two together. And then you write a backstory and stuff like that for her. Like, there's a point where she's looking at a model, and she came to New York to model. So long story short, it's just like, what is that about? What feeds her? Why is she staying there? But yeah, that's how I would prepare. That's how I have prepared, and I haven't done a darker role since, so I don't know how to. Okay. No, but I am into the idea of, you know, taking on parts of method acting and becoming a whole different, like, person. Like, I would go as far as, you know, living in a whole place by myself just to prepare. Like, I'm super into training and digesting and just putting myself in a whole different space as well.
Season 3 of The Deuce is coming back September 9th. Yes. You're excited.
I'm super excited. I'm happy that they just kept me on for a whole 3 seasons.
That's what's up.
But yeah, it's going to be... I cried at our rap party secretly. Avery was there though, but I did. I was just like, oh, this is such a beautiful thing, because honestly, it was like I did not expect, and it wasn't the perfect, you know, experience of what you think when you land your first role, what it's gonna be, but it was so damn good. It was really good, and it was just like I get to say that I was a part of this community, telling this story on a major platform like HBO. Like, this is amazing to me, and so I'm super excited, and that's something that I feel honored, and I'm gonna tell my kids about. Like, look, did you watch your mom on? And that's just how I am. So like, I'm excited about it. I feel like this storyline wraps up and ties in really well.
That's what's up. So you have that coming up. Oh my God. Back to back. Wu-Tang and American Saga. The 4th, and then the Deuce season 3 premiere the 9th. Like, yes. you got a lot of stuff in the works here. You're doing big things.
It's not me. Someone loves me sometimes, I guess.
You know what? They're gonna. I pray that they keep on loving you, because we definitely need, you know, some beautiful energy in the industry. So thank you for being a part of that. But speaking of the universe, because I did read from a previous interview that
you just been reading, girl.
I like to read. Reading is fundamental, right? You gotta read. But I did read that you like to meditate. You practice good energy. Oh. So yeah, like, or do you consider yourself a very spiritual person? Were you raised like that, or you just adopted that lifestyle?
Oh, we can go down a rabbit hole here.
Oh, let's go.
The rabbit hole is very deep and long.
Okay. We like rabbit holes in interviews, by the way.
I just realized a whole nother context of that statement. What the hell am I on today? All right, so focus. Anyway, I don't know how to answer that simply. I've tried before.
Oh,
they just seem
simple, so.
very temporary. I think that sound is gonna actually, yeah. How symbolic that some like drum is playing and there's like a fire, like they're like, oh, bring that heat.
They're
It's lit.
each other. Yes. This is the music of the city.
That's true. The Big Apple has its own soundtrack.
Absolutely.
That is so true. It has its own soundtrack. That is like poetic.
We doing poetry up in here, right? This is not an interview anywhere. We're just spitting poetry.
That's actually really cool. Like to think that every city has its own like sound, like literally though.
I think every environment kind of has its own sound. You have the city, you have, you know, like the rainforest.
New York has its own room tone.
Absolutely.
When you do film, they get the room tone after you do audio so that you could get the nuances of the space. And it's just like, oh, New York has room tone. Got it. She's really entertaining me. Please
No, I'm
This is
sorry.
the problem. People don't entertain me.
No, I entertain when there's things to be entertained. So there's that.
Okay.
So
She
we-
basically said you a clown, but all right.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I'm just kidding.
But yes, okay. So you said there's no easy way to answer like about your spirituality, which it's a complex, you know, topic. But as far as how you approach it,
I feel all beings are connected, and I feel like there's a divine guidance. I don't care what people call the divine guidance. When I say that it's complicated, I believe that there's a God. Undoubtedly so. It gets funny for me as far as details of the matter. Is it a him? I don't think so.
we don't know.
Why do we have to put a sex to it at all? That becomes a question for me. I'm in a space now of just really questioning things about how everything works, the purpose behind it, and just more so figuring out the balance of it all. In just human nature alone, the things that we're compelled to do, why we're compelled to do them, who we are as a people, as humans, what that means for other species. Yeah, and I don't know how to. We would be here for another 6 hours just getting into the basics of what even leads me to those questions and all that. So I don't want to just kill it. I would probably be like we could do that around Thanksgiving time, just really have a conversation just about like being grateful and why, and then segue into spirituality, and I'll be like, okay, boom. And we can sit there and talk for 8 hours about that. But I don't want to do that right now here on your live and piss people off. Like, oh, this is so boring.
Piss
She
them
wants
off.
to be so smart, so bad.
Okay.
So I won't. But I feel like everyone, if they don't have one, they should find a moral compass. They should find a connection to some higher power. I feel like it helps with mental stamina. And I feel like it can help with energy, but not in the obscure sense of people always saying like, oh, I feel your energy, in energy of like just your own motivation, just your own, there's a word for it and it's slipping me. But yeah, just your own chi. Right. So yeah.
Chi is big. No, but seriously, like I'm big into spiritual myself. So when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta ask like what
Yeah,
your
I meditate. Well, the last couple months I haven't really been meditating. I'm not gonna lie. Look, people go through phases.
It's hard. It's like
I
you
haven't
said,
been
there's a
meditating.
balance to it.
But I probably need to. I'm gonna start back with my yoga and stuff again, just because it's something that really feels good for me. I mean, I don't want to say that's what life is about, because that takes you into a whole other philosophical like engagement. But I do believe that we should entertain the parts of ourselves where it's just purely pleasurable. Like, yeah, it can be helpful, it can be healthy, but also sometimes it should just be pleasurable. So I do yoga, even though it's healthy and you should always do it all the time. And I do it when I feel like I need it, and I do it because it's fun for me. A lot of people don't find it fun, and they continuously do things because it's healthy, and I respect that, and I do that too. But I do that in other places, in other phases of my life. Like, I eat stuff that I don't necessarily like all the time because it's just healthy. So when it comes down to movement and body, all of that's really fun for me.
Okay.
As long as I'm like engaged in some way with my body, I'm happy.
That makes sense.
So like horseback riding, rowing, indoor rock climbing, just anything movement. I'm that person.
Okay. So as far as like your, do you take veganism into account when it comes to your spirituality? Is that like a...
I've been vegan for 9 years.
Nice.
And no. Eating healthier for yourself can enhance your mental state. That's something I believe in. That sounded like something I read out of a magazine, didn't it? It's just because I'm trying to speak as clearly and concisely. My thoughts come in like thousands of seconds per whatever. So I always have like 18,000 thoughts at one time. So trying to focus on something, to say something, sometimes I'll just be like, you know. But anyway, the point of what I'm trying to say is, because I'm trying to be understood, I'm trying to focus on what I'm saying. So I feel like it can help your mental state. It can make your mind a lot more clearer. But I don't think you need it in order to pursue a spiritual path or have a connection. I think that's the beauty of being gods in our own right. We are always connected, even when we don't necessarily feel like it. And maybe you trying to get reconnected and you meditating helps you eat healthier. It doesn't always have to be the eating first. It doesn't always have to be the exercise first. Sometimes it's just the stillness, the quieting of the mind, putting yourself in a new environment or around water and the elements that really make you just start to understand and to feel reconnected and re-rooted and grounded enough to open you up and to open your third eye and say, okay, I'm on to something here. So I don't like, in a way, I guess I follow rules. We all do to a certain extent, right? And that's just in life in general, in society. Like, you know, like there are days you just don't run a red light. There are days you probably do run a red light. There are days you double park, and there are days you don't double park. So, you know, like some people feel like a badass saying, I always break the rules. No, you don't. Sit down. But the point is that even though I follow rules to a certain extent, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm a stickler for them or I believe in them hard fast. Like, I feel like when you live in the vegan world, they start to they start to push all of these rules to it onto you. Like, well, if you're really going to be vegan, this is how you need to do it. Right. And I don't think that's fair, especially if you want people to go for the long haul. I think you need space and time, and you need people to do things their own way. That may or may not even have anything to do with connecting to another realm. That could just be solely for health. You know what I mean? And it can be in the slowest, most simplest of ways. I know some people want you to cut out everything all the time. And it's like, no, like I tell my family members, like, start off really small. I did not. But that's me. There are certain things I've never really liked when I sat down and I was honest with myself. It wasn't on my palate. But if you know something's going to be hard for you, take out one thing for 2 years and F what everyone else says. Learn in the meantime, and, you know, like, just do it though. Like, just start, just make that progress. And I have the same rule about spirituality. People think like if you're trying to be on a spiritual realm, you're not supposed to curse and you're supposed to always be zen and always come from a peaceful place. And it's like, I will fight you and then go meditate afterwards. Leave me alone.
There you go. I was gonna say fuck that, but yeah.
No, but that's what it and that's what it is. Like, you don't have to be one thing all the time. I'm everything all the time. I will walk down the block laughing and smiling, and then something might happen, and now I'm upset for the next 2 blocks, and then something else might happen, and now I'm super silly and goofy, and then something else might happen, and now I'm super sad. And we're allowed to go through that. Right. Not because you're moody, that's completely different, saying, oh, you could just snap or smack, you know, but just because you're a human constantly going through different emotions, and you're not by yourself. You're living in a society with other things that are constantly affecting you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brother passed. I'll go outside happy as I ever, and then walk into a building and it reminds me of my brother, and now I'm like, and he'll swear to God I'm sad, and he's trying to protect me from everything, and I'm not sad. And I'm not sad, and I know I'm not sad. It's more so that I'm down a mental rabbit hole of memories, and I'm going through emotions, but you're just not seeing them. So now he'll try to do something that's just like to snap me out and not keep me in a sad place, and I'll just be like, stop. And then he'll be like, oh, you wasn't sad, you was mad. Oh, I should have backed off. And it's like, no, I wasn't any of them. It's just, I don't want any energy right now. You're giving me, it doesn't matter what energy you're giving me, just don't give me any. You know what I mean? And that's just, I know him since junior high school, so I'm not snapping on just random people in the street. See, this is what I'm saying. Look, I'm not snapping on random people in the street. I know him. But the point of what I'm saying is people need the room to be all these different things, and that's how you stay not living in them, by being and giving yourself permission to feel them. Right. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It does. Like, you don't have to act it out if you've given yourself permission to feel it and to say, I know what I'm going through right now. Like, if you can understand yourself enough to know, like, oh, right now I'm sad, or right now I'm confused, or right now I just need peace and silence, then something's not going to just tick you off because you understand what you're going through. You'll be able to have better control of it. I think so many people are walking around here, you know, blaming veganism, or blaming, you know, meat eaters, or blaming the lack of spirituality, or people who are too spiritual. You know, they're blaming, and it's really just a lack of understanding yourself. It's a lack of controlling yourself. It's a lack of projecting onto other people. Damn, you're right. I'm talking a lot.
No, listen, I'm feeling this.
No problem is I didn't eat. If I ate, I would be more tired and quiet. All right, I'm sorry.
No,
shut up now.
It is all good. We're talking my language right now. But yes, I feel you. I understood.
She's like, I don't know what to do with this. I wasn't prepared. You're right. I'm sorry. I should have told y'all. Some days I talk.
Listen.
And other days I'm just like,
That is okay. Because we don't just talk about hip hop. And
you know what it is? I think I just haven't had an interview in so long that I told myself, look, be open, and now I'm probably too open.
Oh no, you're great. Next one. No, thank you. I appreciate your openness. This is, you know, what makes for a great interview, like being able to have that kind of exchange. So I appreciate it.
But yeah, so that's where the whole meditation, yoga, and spirituality thing connects, and doesn't connect for me.
Okay. All right. Listen, we make our connections where, you know, we see fit. So however we can connect to that source, do it. But yes, so I heard you opened up a vegan restaurant. Is that true?
It's not vegan only.
Oh, okay.
But yes, it's Jamaican food. It's Caribbean food, okay. Caribbean style food. Everything isn't traditional, so we have like some weird quirky things there too. But I'm kind of going into a phase of just making a nighttime spot.
Okay.
So the issue is trying to have authentic Caribbean food in Pennsylvania, and finding that person who has that schedule, who can handle a kitchen.
Need that.
It's just like hard to do a kitchen right now. It is like, even when people start to come, that's when the staff, there's always an issue with the cook or with the bartender, or it's just, so it's like I might just have to make it a nighttime spot, which is so much more easier because it's like, you know, but it's still there. It's still open. It's still running and working. Go check it out. PK's and Company is the name of it. 1729 Markley Street, Norristown, Pennsylvania.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
There's not
family owned and ran.
We need more authentic Caribbean spots.
Yeah, music's good.
So, yeah.
People are nice. Yeah.
Okay. Right, well.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate your opening. I know you said you were long, but I appreciate it. I have no complaints as far as how the conversation went.
You
So
ever say that
great.
you look like Nia Long?
I just got that the other day.
You do. And you look like the girl who played her daughter in Roxanne. Oh shit, what's her name? I mean shit. What's her name? You don't know it? The girl who played Roxanne in Roxanne. That's not it. The actress who played in Roxanne as Roxanne Shante. Yes. It's something like it's her name.
They would have remembered, right?
They would have.
But no, damn, her name is similar to the actual name of of Roxanne. It's like Roxy Allen.
I'm gonna definitely have to look that up.
But yeah, she looks so much like Nia Long. So the fact that you look like Nia Long, you look like her also. So that's the point.
Aw, guys. Listen.
It's
Okay. Thank you. I mean, no, that is absolutely a compliment. So thank you. But yes, Wu-Tang and American Saga.
Wu-Tang and American Saga.
American Saga, yes.
September 4th at 9 p.m.
Tune in.
On Hulu.
On Hulu.
The series. That's going to be the premiere. And so, yeah, I'm excited. And I will be in the first episode, so there's no excuse. Go watch the first episode.
Go watch it. No excuses whatsoever. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming to sit down with us at All Hip Hop. And
Thank you guys for having me. This is so cool.
Yeah, no, it was so cool.
This is so
I
cool.
love this.
I'm
Thank
probably
you.
going to be so quiet in my next one that they're going to be like,
They're going to blame me.
who brought her here?
Be like,
So I'm
"Listen."
just going to direct them to you. I'm sorry, guys.
You know what? That's okay.
They took
I'll
my
take
energy
it.
at All Hip
I'll
Hop.
take it. I took all the good energy, okay? You can have that back. But yes, thank you so much. Again, Luna Pro coming at you with Andrea-Rachel Parker. Go watch Wu-Tang and American Saga. It's coming on Hulu. You know, that's big stuff right there.
September
I can't wait
4th.
to see it. September 4th.
Thank
It's
you
coming.
guys.
Thanks. Peace out.